Oh, that's good. Hey, garbage, garbage. I don't want to read that. No, get out of here. Hey. Hey guys, how are you today? Hey, whippersnappers. Oh, do you remember the days when we used to go to school and have to learn everything with school books? Actual books. They flip open and there's paper inside. Do you remember paper? I remember paper. I was just starting to read one. This is a newspaper, never mind. But we used to have hardcover books. Do you know what a hardcover book is? Oh, that's this. This is a hardcover book because it's hard. It hit my brain. Hello. Yes, but anyhow, back in those days, we used to go to school and we used to have to protect these books. These were given to us for the school year. This is where we would learn our topics: English, math, science, home ec. Remember home ec? That's short for home economics. It's where you learned how to make things for the home, cook, take care of your laundry, things like that. You know, just as examples. However, excuse me. Anyhow, excuse me. That's really hot. But it is good. Anyhow, we used to have to make these last longer. How did we do that? We did it by covering these books, and we had to cover it with shopping bags. No, not the stupid single-use plastic ones that we have today. We used to have to use paper. That's what this is. This is a paper shopping bag, and I got this for free. I got it from my local Hannaford grocery store. I went in and I asked, hey, I have a video that I'm going to do, where that I'm going to cover a book like we used to do in school a long, long time ago at a school near you. There's about 4 or 6 within a quarter mile of my home, surprisingly. But we used to have to cover these with this. And that was so long ago. But the weird thing is, which you may not be able to relate with, is I remember how to do it. And I checked with Freya in the office for the condo complex. Do you remember having to cover your books with shopping bags? She said, yes. Oh, excuse me. That is so hot. But it's not coffee, it's tea. Anyhow, we used to cover these with that, and so we are going to be doing that today on Craft Quest. Craft Quest? Okay, time for a fun fact with Shadow Strike before we get started. Welcome on back. Look at this. There's my tripod. The camera's going to go on that. And look at that setup. Look at that. Don't worry about that cable right there. That goes to the battery, which is right over there. But here we go. I'm going to be doing a straight down on this. So why don't we get to it? So here I am. Got the straight down, and you might see my knees there. Ugh. Ugh. Had to push the table closer to me. So, and don't mind the light right here. I apologize. It's just too close, but it's up on the camera. And so we're going to be doing that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our shopping bag. And here it is. Yeah, I did go into my local Hannaford. Thanks for shopping. With us. As it says right there. With us. Okay. But, and I happened to ask the lady, do you happen to have any paper shopping bags that are readily available? She's like, yeah, I've got some right here. This is at the service desk. And I said, hey, I happen to make videos, and I happen to come up with one regarding covering a hardcover book with a paper bag like we used to have to do back in the day. And I remember how to do it, and she remembered as well. And I said, do you happen to have one that I could use in the video? She goes, yeah. She grabs one and hands it to me. And I'm like, how much do I owe for it? She goes, nothing. You can have that one for free. Just one. I'm like, all right, that's fine. Great, thanks. So here we go. So what we are going to need is, well, we need scissors. This is my good pair. I barely use these. I have had them for a few years. Also need some Scotch tape. So here is, it's the purple one, which is the one that you would really want to use for, let's say, wrapping gifts, stuff like that. But the main reason I get it is because, you know, it's very opaque. It's not crystal clear through, and that's fine. But it's great for gift wrapping, and it also peels off things a lot easier than straight tape. So, got that, so I'll put that off to the side. And of course we need the hardcover book. Here's the hardcover book. 869 new uses for old things. I'm going to call this book Home Hacks. Basically it's hacking, you know, a lot of different things. And it's very, very thick. And it's very, very useful. So, I like thumbing through it and seeing what weird things I can do. And what could actually apply to me. So the first thing we need to do is that we need to basically stretch this out. So that means we need to cut this. So let's do that. So what I've done here is I've done one cut down the side of one thing, because what we need to do is we need to basically remove this bottom section. So let's do that. The very bottom has been cut off, so that can go off to the side. We still have all of this, okay? And now we can stretch it out, and there it is. So when we do this, what we want is a completely bare thing. So we want the inside of the bag, which is this side here, to be on the outside of the book. We don't want the ink from the outside of the bag to be showing at all. Kids used to do that back in the day, stuff like that. But after a while, you know, I mean, heck, I think I did. I can't remember for sure. However, so all the work we're going to be doing is with the outside of the bag in a way to do it, to make it on the inside. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to lay it out like this, and we're going to use the creases as our center points, or like a center line of sorts. So basically what I want to do is I'm going to take it like this. I'm going to fold it like that. I'm going to line it up so that it's square. Okay? And then what I'm going to do from there is I'm going to fold up an edge. I'm going to go like this and basically make a crease. Get that out of the way. and then line up a crease with the crease so that it's square. So let's do that. Okay, that side's done. So now let's turn this around. Like so. I'll lay this back down, and right now it doesn't matter, you know, which way it is. It has to be this way, but it doesn't matter if it's like that or like that. I just want the straight edge. So I'm going to line up this edge here with the crease that I just made, and then I'm going to repeat the process on this end, and we're going to do that. Now that we've got that done, I want to check to make sure everything is lined up all right. This side looks good. This side looks good as well. And it's okay if there's a little overhang. That's perfectly fine. In fact, some of us sometimes like to have that, because the next part kind of describes it a little bit. Now, some of these bags, around the time that the school year was going to be starting back up, would actually have lines and guides on how to do this. I remember that. So what they would often do is do it in such a way, and I'll briefly demonstrate that here, do it in such a way that when you had to put the actual cover over it, you would actually take a piece of it and you would actually tuck it in like this and stuff like that, so that when it came over, you know, but the thing, there was a problem with that. It would cause this to bubble up and it would look really bad. So I'm like, no, let's do it so that it's nice, straight, even. There's the OCD that came out in me at that time. So what I'm going to do is I am going to essentially, let me get this, I'm going to have to turn it around so that I can actually see it a little better. Get this turned around, and I'm going to get those out of the way. This is my remote, my tape, and my coaster for my tea. So I'm going to take this side and I am going to put it up just shy of the actual book crease. Just like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut the book on it. Boom. There. That's going to be my anchor of sorts. So, I'll flip it around. So what we're looking at here is, this is the front of the book, this is the binding, and here is all the paper. Now this portion here is going to become the outside of the book. So from there, I want to turn this up on the edge, and I want to take my hand and push this down to get it to basically roll over. And then I'll just gently go like this, flatten it. So here's the back of the book. So now I am going to turn the book up and over. I'm going to rub that down, pressing down on it, and I'm going to set it back down like this, go like that, give it a little rub, and I'm going to basically continue rubbing like this to help maintain the flat. So there we go. We got a little bit of edge here, that's okay. We can kind of help influence it a little bit, like so. And then I'll bring this over, and I want to have as much area here inside the cover without getting folded over by the binding area, because we need to cut off a portion of it. So basically what we've got here is about, here's basically the width of the width of the book right there. So I'm going to flatten that just to get a rough idea. Get like this, and let's see, give about 1/4 of an inch, and then bring it out to about here. Take my scissors, and then I'm going to just basically just cut right down through here. And there we go. Okay. Alright, so now I am going to, while holding on to the paper, hold it over, roll it over, flatten it down, and there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to hold the edge of the paper here with the edge of the cover, and I'm going to turn this over like so. Okay. I'm going to roll this up, rub that, make a seam, and then gently pull down like that. And if we see here, it is not exact, it's a little overshot. It's got a little extra here, so I'm going to take off about a 1/2 inch. Throw that off to the side. And there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to shut the book while holding it. And there we go. We have a covered book with a shopping bag. But we're not done yet. We have to secure it. Otherwise, this is just going to fall off and just fly away. So, that's where the tape comes in. We need to tape it in the corners on both sides. Both in the front and the back. So, but what I started doing the last couple, 3 years of when I was in school, was I would actually take a length of it, and I would put it over the edge about halfway, maybe just shy of it, lay it down like that. I would hold the paper tight on this side, pull it over like so, and then just kind of roll it over onto it so that it would make contact. There. So there's that one. And now I will do the same with the other side. And there's one side. Flip it over. Do the same thing on this side. And there we go. We have a hardcover book covered in a shopping bag, a grocery bag from the old days. So then at this point, we would basically take a marker and write on the book what it was. English, math, science, biology, home ec, whatever, you name it, stuff like that. This is a book that, is basically home hacks. So I'm going to call it Home Hacks, but I'm not going to put it here because this is where the anal retentiveness in me comes in. I'm going to put it on the side. I'm going to make sure I've got the front just so. This is it. I'm calling it Home Hacks. So people would name it, whatever the subject was and stuff like that. They'd write it on there so they understand what it was. Some kids would write it on here. If they used a locker, they could store it in a locker, but typically they'd have it in their backpacks, stuff like that, and there we go. So, yeah, I'll probably go over this again with a black marker, just to make it nice and vibrant, have it stand out. This is a brown marker that matches this, and I use this to color in little scratches and stuff, just so that it blends in better. Yeah, because I'm that anal. See, that one needs one too, so why don't I do that right now? There we go. Okay. So there we go. And then you open it up. There it is. You can see that it goes all the way over. And it matches, and it's on both sides, front and back. And, you know, we've got tape along here. If you wanted, you know, you can just go like that, just to kind of help squish it together. It's not necessary, but if you like that, then you could. And sometimes the tape would, you know, the way that I was doing it, sometimes the tape would actually come into contact with the actual book paper, but I wouldn't worry about that, because at the end of the school year, I would just take a knife and slide it through, and whatever tape was on it would just stay there. Like they complained, like they noticed. So, there we go. All right, so there we go. I covered a book like I used to have to do in the old school days and stuff like that. I'm from those days. You know, and you know, today's particularly Gen Z may not completely appreciate what we used to have to go through. Excuse me, I need to grab that thing. Pardon me. Gen Z today, they might not appreciate what we used to have to go through back in the old days, when we used to have to use books and cover them with shopping bags. We had to take a night of our precious time to focus and dedicate to covering these things so that we would not get in trouble at work, at school. No, because we would get detention. Oh. But anyhow, yeah, so that was a lot of fun. Put that there. This is a corn cob pipe, you know. It actually works, but I haven't used it. I've had it for over 10 years, but whatever. Anyhow, got this here. I'm going to be showing Freya tomorrow, because I asked, like I said before, I had asked her, do you remember these? And she's like, yeah, I remember those. And I'm like, I'm going to do a video regarding this, and I'm going to show it to you after. So I'm going to do that tomorrow. I have to go in tomorrow to do some IT work on one of the machines, and I'm going to bring this along, and I'm going to go, well, here you go. Have a look. But yeah, this is a great book. It's got 698 or 869 uses for different things, you know, where you can reuse, recycle, you know, restore of sorts. Used for different purposes in the home. And this is really cool. It's been sitting up there next to the video game box. This will go right back up there. And I'll probably actually put the title here too, Home Hacks. So that'll work out well. So there we go. So that was this video of Craft Quest, and sorry for stepping out of the frame there. I just wanted to grab my tea. There we go. It's still really good. It's St. John's wort tea, which I use to clear brain fog. It's not as good as the fresh St. John's wort. There happens to be a bush up there in the trees, but I can't remember where it is. I haven't been shown where it is necessarily, but I was pointed in the direction of it. So it's very earthy, so use some sugar if you want to do that. But it clears brain fog. The fresh stuff slaps you right in the face with it, with that effect. This is dried for the sake of teas, which works, just not, it's not in my face. There is an effect, but it's not noticeable. The fresh is noticeable. Very. It's awesome. But it is very earthy tasting. And there we go. So Thank you for coming along for Craft Quest and covering a book with an old, with a paper shopping bag. And if you happen to like this content, please give it a like. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. I've got tons of stuff lined up. And if you have any other ideas, throw it down below. Throw a comment. And please subscribe. And we will talk to you later. So thank you very much. Skål. Drink to victory.